The scariest nightmare I ever had is actually closely associated with the scariest movie that affected me the most, which is Child's Play. I was in this world, which actually ended up being my hometown, like an alternate version of Columbia Falls, Montana, which is this small northwest town where there's only 3,000 people, so a lot of side streets. And we were trying to get away from Chucky. He was trying to kill me, and my brother had me on the front basket of his bike, and we were riding down this small, narrow street that was leading to my house. It was the exact street in real life, but we knew Chucky was after us, and on both sides of the street, we were flanked by boxes upon boxes, like 10 stories tall, of good guy dolls in their like original packaging, and we knew Chucky was in one of them. So we were in this corridor of good guy dolls on the left and on the right, trying to get home, knowing that that doll was in one of them trying to murder us. And it was so frightening that I remember it vividly to this day.
Scariest nightmare. It's the ones you can't wake up from. It's the ones where it scares you so much you jump out of bed, but as soon as you go back to bed, you are dropped right back into the nightmare. I think the one that I can remember right now, my teeth kept falling out. That's what it was. That was absolutely terrifying. Blood was coming out of my mouth. I didn't know what to do, and people were laughing at me.
I don't often remember my dreams, but the one that I remember as a kid was, this was before my house had a second story, but for some reason in the dream I had like a staircase. And in the dream I come out of my room, I'm walking down the staircase, it's completely dark, and there are all these little like tissues, like kind of up and down the banister, and they're moving. And I just remember, like, I don't remember if I actually like uncovered one, but I just knew that there were these little demon monster animal things underneath. And I remember the fear of walking down the stairs and seeing these little like vibrating tissues that had monsters underneath. And for some reason that stuck with me my entire life. So I'm scared of stairs and banisters now.
My nightmares tend to be pretty weird or like really bad, and people I care about die in them. I know the most visceral dream I've ever had was one of those classic falling through the sky dreams, and I was actually falling out of my bed. And what woke me up was hitting the floor next to my bed.
The scariest dream I ever had was a zombie apocalypse dream, but I generally have lucid dreams, so I wasn't really scared. It was actually the best dream I ever had, and I happen to like horror stuff. But I was working at my first job, which was at a Chinese food place, and I was packing noodles inside of the little wax bags, and then all of a sudden, my boyfriend at the time just drives by and goes, it's happening now, and then behind him was like, kind of like that Brad Pitt movie with all the like the wave of zombie people kind of thing. Like that definitely happened in the background, probably because I saw a trailer or something like that, World War Z. I'm not sure why, but that was definitely the scariest dream I ever had, because it was super realistic, because I was at the Chinese food place and I turned around and there's like hot oil and stuff and like knives everywhere, and I was like, okay, pick up this knife, okay, I'm ready, let's go. And that was it. Well, not that that was it, there was a little bit more to it. I mean, like the zombies chased us and stuff, but it was just like the concept of being chased is scary in dreams, just like the same thing as like falling is kind of scary in dreams. But that was about it.
The scariest nightmare I've ever had was actually, it was a few weeks ago. I had some weird, so we had like a spider problem in our apartment, and so we had the like exterminator come. And this is like real life. This is not a nightmare. This is what happened prior to the nightmare. And you see where this is going, but you don't, because it's gonna be a twist ending. The guy comes and he like sprays the place or whatever, and we're like, great, no more spiders forever and ever. That's wonderful. And then we see a spider above our bed, my wife and I, and we're like, oh crap, that's a spider, and it drops down below the bed, and I'm like, no, homie, don't play that. So I go down there and I start trying to find it, and I can't. I like see it scurry down or whatever, and then I'm like, all right, well, forget it. Hopefully it dies, and it doesn't crawl into our mouths in the middle of the night and destroy us and lay eggs into our brains. And it didn't, that we know of. But that night we're sleeping or whatever, and I open my eyes, and I see up on the ceiling or the roof a dude, right, like a legit dude. And it looks like a dude who's like a Spider-Man. It looks like Spider-Man, but not wearing a costume, just like a dude in dark, and I was apparently in like some middle, like, you know, like the space between the dream and awake, like that weird area where you're like, you're pretty sure it's real. And I flipped out and I was like, babe, what is that? What is that? What is that? And she freaks out. She's like, what are you talking about? There's nothing there. And I was like, no, there's like a dude. And I thought it was a prank. I thought somebody was like pulling, you know, a fast one on me or something. And I flipped the light on and I'm like literally too scared to look directly up because I saw the thing just go bloop, 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 like from let me see, like, doo, doo, doo. It was like this. It was like this guy was here and then he goes, doo, 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 doo. And he starts walking toward me in the bed and I'm like petrified. So finally I turn the light on and I'm like scared to look up because I think he's directly over us at this point. And I look up and he's not there. And my wife was like, what the crap just happened to you? And I was like, I don't know, but it was scary. And then I went back to bed and she was laid awake because I freaked the crap out of her.
The scariest nightmare I ever had was that my dog was the T-1000 Terminator and it was cuddling on my lap and all of a sudden it stabbed me in the face. I was just like, oh, Rambo, I love you. And he just like, his tail came up and just went.
This was probably the most, it was so scary because it was so realistic. So, you know, like you're not supposed to die in your dreams, basically. Well, I did once and it was a bomb. And I was like in a city area. I don't know, I was like in the city somewhere, like I want to say like at a coffee shop or something. And there was a bomb that went off, and you knew it was coming, like the wave or whatever, like you knew it was going to come, and I was waiting for it and waiting for it. And then I kept thinking in my dreams, I was like, wow, so I'm going to, you know, wake up before this actually hits me. And then I didn't, and the big, huge, like, dust cloud wave came over me, and it was the most crazy feeling in my body that I've ever had. It felt like I died. It was weird. It was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced, and I woke up in a cold sweat, freaking out, like, my heart was racing. It lit like just the, I don't even know. I've never even felt that feeling before, not even when I was drunk.
The scariest nightmare I've ever had, that would have to be, I woke up in a room. It was my bedroom at the time, but there was no furniture in it. And there was a box of life-size, no, not even life-size, the same size as me, so about 6 feet tall, dead puppies that were getting thrown around. And for some reason, my father, who I haven't spoke to in maybe 3 years, was there. And these zombie-like dead puppies were attacking me, and I woke up in cold sweats. Terrible. I wrote it down in my phone, and I read it every now and then, get a little scared.
Scariest nightmare. I have a lot of them. It's basically people doing all sorts of things to get me alone in the dark. And like, okay, so like when I'm driving through the woods on a dirt pathway by myself, you know, in the car at night, and something comes out in front of my car and I hit it, so I get out to see what it is, and it turns out that it's a body, and I don't know if I hit a person, but then I find out later in the dream that it's like a guy threw a dead body out of the trees, like into my pathway, so that I'd have to get out and that I'd be out of my car for a while so that they could come get me, and it's absolutely terrifying.
I have a weird fear of lizards because one of my cousins made me run over a lizard with a Hot Wheel on a track. So I had this dream where I was on a boat with a bunch of snakes, but I like snakes, so I started playing with them. And all of a sudden they turned into lizards, and I was like, get the fucking lizards off the boat!
The scariest nightmare I've ever had involves being alone in a shopping mall where there's no one else, but something is chasing me. There's some kind of unknown, frightening entity that's just coming after me, and it wants to eat me, and it wants to kill me. And I don't know what it is, but I know it's behind me. And you know that stupid thing that happens when you're running in a dream where you keep running and it's like you're in molasses, basically, and you're not going anywhere? That happens. What's the worst nightmare you've ever had? You should talk about it in the comments section under my face. Please like and subscribe to this channel, the Fright-O-Verse. And next week, stay tuned for the short film Talk Radio, where I have a little cameo. Might want to pay attention and open your ears, and you might miss it. Boo. Bzz.